An opportunity to figure it out for yourself using the rules I've taught you. While you're reading, you can also use your finger to glide underneath. That's perfectly fine. And when you're done, you'll read it out loud to me. Okay? So go ahead and read silently and use your finger as a finger glide. That's fine.
Okay. Jill can nap on the bed.
Okay, you read every sentence perfectly. One thing I'm going to show you is that when we read, especially when we get to longer sentences and you kind of need to read in a more natural fashion rather than one word at a time, Jill can nap on the bed. When we talk, we tend to talk more in phrases. Watch my finger. Jill can nap on the bed.
Okay.
Okay, Jill can nap on the bed. Try that and show me how you can sort of scoop the phrases. And phrases are a group of words together that express a thought.
On the same sentence?
Let's do this. Jill can nap is one idea. On the bed is another idea.
Okay.
Okay,
Jill can nap on the bed.
good. Because we want to become a fluent reader. And if we finger point word by word, we need to smooth it out because that's not how we usually read. Okay? Did you read the second sentence to yourself?
No.
Okay, read that sentence to yourself. Practice your finger gliding, finger scooping.
Okay. And you want me to scoop?
Scoop or glide, just so that we're not doing word by word pointing.
Dan sat in the pig pen.
Okay? Good.
Is that okay?
That's okay.
Okay.
Read the next one to yourself.
The dog ran a path to get to the cat.
Okay. You added one word, which is very minor, and I'm just pointing it out simply because we're being right on target here. The dog ran a path to get the cat, which changes the meaning only slightly. To get the cat versus get to the cat. There was an extra to in here, to get to the cat.
Okay.
Not a problem, changes the meaning a little bit, but we're being right on target here. Go ahead and read the next one to yourself.
Pat had the jam in the shed.
Read that again to me. I want to make sure I heard correctly. I didn't hear.
Pat had... Can I start over?
Sure.
Pat hid the jam in the shed.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard. Or didn't hear. That's what I didn't hear. Okay, number 5, read it to yourself.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Did Beth get the fan for the hot din?
Excellent. Okay, what do you notice is at the end of that sentence? Do you know what that's called?
Looks familiar.
Okay, question mark? That's what it's called, question mark. And notice this one is asking a question,
Okay.
okay? Were the others asking questions or were they tell us something?
I think telling something.
Right, I see a period here, I see a period here.
What's that?
Okay, exclamation point. And an exclamation point is used at the end of a statement, of something that tells us when you're excited. The sentence is, Dan sat in the pig pen. If someone were sitting in a pig pen, that's sort of a novel event. And we wouldn't say it very calmly, Dan sat in the pig pen. We'd more likely say, Dan sat in the pig pen. And that's what this does, is tells us expression, because
Making a statement.
an excited statement.
Okay.
Not just a statement, but there's emotion and energy behind it.
Okay.
And that's the difference between this end of this, and mark, exclamation point and a period. This is just, Jill can nap on the bed. End of sentence, period. This one is a sentence, but it also is expressing emotion that's hard to convey in text.
Okay.
Okay? Do we have any other interesting things at the end? I think we have periods for all the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the very first letter of every sentence. What do you see? Do you notice anything about the first letter of every word in every sentence?
They look different from each other.
Okay. They're capitals.
Okay.
Okay? And we don't have any capitals, you notice up here. We just have, we call this lowercase. The J is a capital, and the rest of these are lowercase. And we'll be working on that more, but I just wanted to point out, because you've got them nicely in a row here. At the beginning of each sentence, you see capital J, capital D, capital T, all the way down. They all get a capital. And everything has some sort of end punctuation at the end.
Okay.
And in sentence form, it's very easy to see, all lined up here for us. Okay. Now, in our lesson plan, according to the book, it tells us to put this away and go to spelling. But I find that I just go ahead to the controlled passage reading, which is actually part 9 of the lesson plan, simply because it's easy for me to turn the page and continue on. Rather, we have a lot of materials here, and one of the hardest things is to keep your working area somewhat neat.
Mm-hmm.
So, for our convenience, let's go ahead to page 77, and we're going to read a paragraph at this point. Okay. Notice again we have a bar at the top, and the same thing. Anytime you see words in a bar at the top, it means that these are words I can tell you. They don't get tapped, and they're very common words. Let's see if you know these. Can you read those?
To, for, she, the, a, have, see, and her.
Great. Okay. Now, look at the title of the story. Would you read that, please?
Pam and Jam.
Good. The title is the main idea of the story, and we always want to read it because it tells us what the story is going to be about. And very often students like to skip that, but it's an important part of understanding stories. I'm going to ask you to read this silently to yourself, and then we'll talk about it. Before we do that, though, what do you think the story will be about, Pam and Jam?
At first, the first time I looked at it, I thought it was two people. But then when I read it, it sounds like it's a lady and something sweet to eat.
Okay, jam jelly. Okay, good. You want to start thinking about the story, and that's the importance of reading the title, is to get you thinking about it, because it will help with your understanding. If you go in asking yourself what this is about and getting in the mental process of thinking about the content of the story, as well as just sounding out the words. So go ahead and read it to yourself. If you get stuck on a word, what are you going to do?
Sound it out
Mm-hmm.
or tap it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead and read it out loud to me, please.
Pam had to get jam for her dad.
Okay. Does it help if you finger glide? Are you better with it, or doesn't it matter in your case? Every student's a little different in it.
It probably would help a little bit.
Okay, so go ahead and use that. It's a tool.
Pam had to get jam for her dad.
Mm-hmm.
She ran to the shop. It did not have jam. She ran to see Liz.
Mm-hmm.
Liz did not have jam. Then she got a bus
Mm-hmm.
to the Big D shop.
Mm-hmm.
The Big D had jam. Pam got the jam for her dad. Dad had the jam and a big kiss for Pam.
Okay. Not great literature, but it's a story, and you did a very good job of reading it. Let's talk about it now. What did Pam want to get?
Jam.
Okay. Sounds like it was pretty important. Okay, and when we were looking at the sentences, we saw an exclamation point, the mark that tells us there's a lot of emotion and excitement. Do you see one in here?
No. Yes.
Yes, okay.
Right there.
Good, read the sentence.
Big D had jam.
Okay, good. So apparently this was an exciting thing that they had the jam, and that's why they put the exclamation point in. Read the sentence for me that tells how she got to the Big D shop. How did she get to the Big D shop?
Something about a bus.
Uh-huh, read that sentence.
Let's see if I can find it. Okay, then she got a bus to the Big D shop.
Good, okay. How many sentences are in this story? Count the number of end marks.
10?
I have
Sentence?
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
4.
okay. Did you count this one already?
Let's do it together.
1,
1,
2,
3,
3, 4,
4,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7, 8,
9.
9.
Okay, good. And we talked a little bit before about capitals. Tell me some of the capitals that you see in this story.
The D, the B,
Okay,
the S, the P.
okay. Do you know why some of those have capitals?
It's at the beginning of a sentence?
Right, okay. Here's our beginning. Here's our beginning. But Big D, here's the first word of that sentence. The had a capital. Why would, do you know? And if you don't, I'll tell you. I'm just wondering what you already know about capitals, since we've not talked about capitals before today. Do you know why that would get a capital? Okay. Names. The specific name of this store is Big D.
Okay.
Okay? And we can see that some other names here have capitals. Let's look for some other names. I see a capital here. Liz, a girl's name.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's name gets a capital. I see a capital here
Mm-hmm.
for Dad. And she's referring to him specifically as Dad. Not my dad, not any generic dad, but Dad as a person-specific name. Okay, we'll be talking more about capitals and punctuation as we go through the books. And when we start spelling, we're going to do a warm-up exercise. This is called a quick drill in reverse, or we can also think of it as what says. I'm going to say what says, and your job will be to point to the letter and tell me its name. I'd like you to repeat the sound after me to make sure you heard it correctly. For example, if I say, what says say Good. What says Show me.
M.
Good. Okay, and it's important for you to also not just point, but say the name of the letter, which you did. But by pairing the sound with the name of the letter, that's what we do when we spell. If we sound out a word and we say op, we spell it M-O-P. We use the names of the letters when we're thinking about spelling. So saying the names paired with the sound is a good practice. Let's try another one. What says T?
T.
Good. What says
H.
Good. Yes. Yes. It is a sound, even though it's a quiet one. What says
P.
Good. What says
C.
Okay, and there's two more. There's another one that says K.
Then C.
You want a hint?
Yeah.
Look in this row.
K.
Good, okay. Find the k in this row. Okay,
CK.
good. We have 3 ways, which is why spelling becomes difficult, because when you hear k, there are 3 spellings for it. Okay, what says cool? Cool.
Cool. Q.
Good. What says j?
J. G.
Okay, sometimes it can, and I know that you have already some reading skills, and sometimes it will go j, and we haven't learned that one yet, but there's another letter also in the same row that says j.
J.
Good. Okay, what says b?
B.
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 Good. What says d?
D. D.
Good. What says
F.
good? What says x? Mm-hmm. At the end of fox. X.
Oh, X.
Good. Okay. What says n?
Mm. Mm. N.
Good. Okay, last one. What says y? Y.
Yeah. Yeah. Y.
Good. Okay. Look at these 2 letters making one sound, digraphs. What says sh?
SH.
Good. What says ch?
Ch. Ch. CK. CH.
Okay, good.
CH.
This was one, the K, the C goes k, and the K goes k, and together they go k, 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 together k. Okay, let's do the vowels. What says, and I'm going to mix them up, what says I?
I.
Good. What says
U.
Okay. What says a?
A.
Good. What says
E.
Good. Okay. Now, let's go on to spelling. That was a good warm-up. Listen to this word. Sam. Say Sam.
Sam.
Okay? Spell Sam. But first, I'd like you to tap it. This is the process we're going to go through when we spell a word with cards or tiles. You're going to say it after me. You're going to tap the word on your fingers. You're going to name the letters or spell it on your fingers. And then you're going to pull the letters to make the word, and then you're going to check it. Okay?
Okay.
So let's do the word Sam. Say it.
Sam.
Tap it.
S-A-M.
Good. Name the letters.
A. S-A-M.
Good. Make the word. Good. Check your work. And you can check it by tapping it to make sure you did it correctly.
S-A-M. Sam.
Great. Okay. Put them back. Okay. The next word is cub. A baby bear is a cub. Or baseball players from Chicago. Cub.
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 Tap it.
B.
Good. Spell it. What says k?
C.
Mm-hmm.
U. B.
Good. Okay. Tap it to check it.
B. B. Cub.
Good. Your checking it verifies for you that it is accurate, because I won't always be with you to do your checking for you. So we're teaching you how to proofread your own spelling. Put those back. Okay. The next word is thin. The opposite of fat is thin. Say thin.
Thin.
Okay. Tap it.
I.
Last one is mm. Mm.
Thin.
Thin.
Thin. I.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I.
Good. Let's spell it. What says th? Okay, look here. We would use your notebook, but we haven't done your digraphs in your notebook yet. But you can look here. Here's a clue. Which one of those says th? Okay.
T. Th.
Uh-huh.
E. N.
Almost. Thin. What's the vowel sound?
I.
Good. Do it again.
Thin.
Good. Now pull the letters. And we always make sure it's correct on our hands first before we pull the letters. It's much easier to correct here. Okay, check your work.
I. Thin.
Great. Put them back. Okay. The next word is sham. Like something is fake, it's a sham.
Sham.
Mm-hmm.
Sham. Sh. Sh. S-H.
Mm-hmm.
A-M.
Great. You got it. Okay. Check your work.
Sham.
Great. Put it back. Okay. Now we're going to do some nonsense. These are not real words. Gop. Gop.
Gop.
Mm-hmm.
Gop. G-op. G-O-P.
Okay, good. Pull the letters. Great. Check your work.
G-op.
Great. Put them back. Okay. Last one. Chim. Chim.
Chim.
Mm-hmm. Chim. Nonsense.
Chim. Ch. I. Ch. Ch. C-H-I-M.
Right. First syllable in the word chimney. Check your work.
Ch. I. Chin.
Great. Put it back. Okay. Now we're going to spell using pencil and paper because really that's how we spell. We don't carry tiles around with us to do our writing, but that's a good way of learning how to spell. Now, pencil and paper, and we're going to use a marker so that it's going to be a little bit more visible. The first thing we're going to do will be to spell sounds. Do you know how to number a paper from 1 to 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, go ahead and number from 1 to 5. Okay, You're gonna write, what says B. Say B.
Buh.
Good. Write B. And it's okay to look back at our alphabet if you need to know which one it is.
Buh.
Okay? Number 2, G. G.
G.
Write G.
G.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, Ch. Write Ch.
Ch. Ch.
Okay? Next one, write E. E.
Eh.
Good. Number 5, write Ah. Ah.
Ah.
Okay, great. I'll have you write 5 of them, and then we'll check them when you're all done. Okay, B, G, Ch, E, Ah. Great. Okay, now we're going to do 5 words. Number again from 1 to 5. Okay, did you finish numbering?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're going to write, and we're going to go through the same process of always repeating the word after me, just to make sure that we're both saying the same word, and tapping it and spelling it on your fingers. And instead of pulling the letters down, you'll be writing them, but you'll also check your own work here. Okay, the first word is than. You are taller than me.
Van.
Than. Tap it.
Eh. Mm. Eh. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Than.
Van.
What says T8? What says V?
V.
Mm-hmm.
Van.
Let's spell it first before we write it.
Okay. Eh. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Spell it for me. What says V?
T-H.
Uh-huh.
A.
Good.
N.
Good. Now write it. I'll check yours when we're all done, but for now, double check, make sure you've got it.
Okay.
Okay? Next word is Jan. The girl's name, Jan.
J. Eh. Mm.
Mhm.
Jan. J-A-N.
Great. Write it. Check your work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next one is Tiff. Tiff. Say Tiff. It is nonsense. It is not.
Tiff.
Mhm. Not a real word. Tiff.
T-I-F.
Tiff.
T-I-F. T-I-F.
Great. Okay. 2 more. The next one is Shab.
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 Mhm.
Sh-ab.
Mhm.
Shab.
Spell it. What says sh? And you can look back here if you need to. What says sh?
S-H.
Mhm.
A-B.
Write it.
Okay.
Okay. The last one is BAP. BAP.
Bap. Bap.
Mhm.
B-A-B.
Listen again. BAP.
Bap. Ba-ap.
Mhm. BAP.
B-A-P.
Write it. Okay, did you check all your words?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Van, T-H-A-N, good. Jan, J-A-N. If it's a girl's name, I would give it a capital, but we haven't worked too much on that yet. Tiff, T-I-F, good, like in the first syllable in Tiffany. And Shab, good, S-H-A-B, like in shabby. Bap, B-A-P, good, excellent. Okay, now we're going to move on to sentences. The first sentence, and I'd like you to listen to the entire sentence first. And the reason is that when you go to write, we think in sentences and we have to hold that entire sentence in our thought while we're writing it. I'm not going to dictate the sentence to you word by word because we need to make sure we develop your memory. The first sentence, sometimes it helps for folks to visualize it if you have a hard time remembering it. Take a moment to picture it and then write it. Dan sat in the pig pen. Say it after me.
Dan sat in the pig pen.
Good.
Sat.
Okay. Number 2. Did Beth get the fan for the den?
Did Beth get the fan for the den?
Mm-hmm.
What was the sentence again?
Okay. Did Beth get the fan for the den? Say it again. Did Beth,
Did Beth get the fan for the den?
Good.
Okay.
Okay. And the last one. Sam had a bad rash on his leg.
Sam had a bad rash on his leg.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. I'll read it one more time and you check. It's an opportunity for you to make any corrections, ask me any questions, tap any words. Number 1, Dan sat in the pig pen. Any questions?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Number 2, did Beth get the fan for the den? Did Beth get the fan for the den? Number 3, Sam had a bad rash on his leg. Okay. Let's go back to the first sentence. Now we're going to check them. Read this for me. Read what you wrote.
Dan sat in the pig pen.
Okay. I see you got a capital. That was great. And I will tell you, I will always check to make sure that you have a capital at the beginning and a period at the end. And you've got that. Great. Whether you're right or wrong, I will always check. So I'm going to check this one. Okay, you do have some end punctuation there, but we'll talk about that in a second. And you have a capital and punctuation there. Going back to the first sentence, there are two spelling errors. You got Dan correct and you got pig correct, but there's two that you had trouble with. Do you know what those could be? Okay, look at this word. Tap that word for me. Okay,
Sat.
okay. And what, would you remember what the word was? Sit?
Sit, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to make a correction?
Sure.
Okay. What was the word?
S-I-N-T?
Say sit.
Sit.
Let's tap it.
Sit.
Good. Spell it.
S-I-T?
You got it. Okay. Let's look at this word. This is a real word, pin. A pin is like a straight pin, and everyone gets these words confused. They sound very similar. And you got the P going in the right direction, and we know that that's a trouble area for you. The E and the I are trouble areas also for many people. This would be, if I tap this, it would be in, pin. What we're going for is pen. What do you need to change to make it pen?
Pen.
Pen.
P-E-N?
You got it. Okay, great. Okay, let's look at the next sentence. Read that one for me.
Dad, Beth, the fun for the bin.
Okay. Couple words to work on there.
Yeah.
You got the, you got for, the. Okay, let's take the first word. You got the capital and you did get end punctuation. The word is did. Did. You got the D's going in the right way. It's the vowel that gave you trouble. Did. What do you need to change?
It. D-I-D?
Right. Okay. And what do we have here?
It's supposed to be Beth, I think.
It's supposed to be Beth. How could you change that to Beth? We have Bath and we need Beth.
B-E-T-H?
T-H on that one. But you've got,
Yeah, B-E-T-H.
good. Okay, make that change. Okay. Okay, let's look at this word. What do we have here?
Fun.
Good. And we need fan. Can you make that fan?
Fan.
Okay.
F-E-N?
Fen, we need fan. What says ah? Back to our old warm-up game. What says ah?
F-A-N.
Good.
Fan.
Good. Okay. And let's look at the last one. We need den. Den.
Den.
And what says
D-E-N?
Good. Great. Okay. We see difficulty with those E's and I's, and I'll tell you, everyone has trouble with those E's and I's because they sound very similar. Did Beth? Oh, you know what? We're missing a word. Because when I read this, did Beth the fan for the den? Doesn't sound right. We're missing a word. Did Beth get the fan?
Yep.
Okay. Can you put in get?
Get. G-E-T.
Great. Add that in there. Good. Okay. And I will tell you, did Beth get the fan for the den? Am I asking someone that or am I telling them?
Question.
Question, okay. Good. Last one. Sam had, read that for me.
Sam had the rice on his lake.
Okay. Sam had a bad, okay, we've lost the entire sentence. At this point, Sam had a bad rash on his leg. Okay, close your eyes and imagine Sam with a rash on his leg. Okay, real ugly. You can make it as gross or not as gross as you like, but you can pick right leg or left leg, but picture that.
Okay.
Okay, got that in your head?
Mm-hmm.
That will help you hold it in your memory. Go ahead and write the sentence again. Sam had a bad rash on his leg.